Romney wool, white Romney wool, and it comes in a skein. So obviously, if you're just going to have your wool done and made into skeins, it's much easier because you don't have to make skeins. They come in skeins, and these are okay to use. They could be a little bit wider apart. They are in skeins, and
So this was from your own sheep. Is that what you're meaning?
Oh, this was somebody. Nelson, I think.
Nelson.
So I've mordanted them in the skein, and then I wound them onto here so that it would be easier for you to take it off. We have to wind a ball here. We haven't got them. So to wind a skein, I think most of you know how to wind skeins. Didn't last week? Well, I do it this way. I don't know how anybody else does it. First of all, you need something to tie it up with, and I haven't got a little bit of tying up stuff, so I'll use something like this.
Well, it's what I use to tie my plants.
Well, I'll use it soon. And the other thing I didn't mention is that you can always use grey wool. And it's very interesting, we'll do a little sample, but you can over-dye grey wool. And so it's very nice if you're getting a very light colour, but you want to bring that colour down. If you've got grey yarn, it makes it a very interesting colour, and the same with tan or whatever. You can over-dye, particularly on wool. And if you've got a colour you don't like very much...
But what does over-dye mean?
It means that it's been dyed once by somebody, or by the sheep in this case, because it's a grey skein. And then when you put it in, it's already grey. So the colour won't be pure. This will not be the colour, it'll be a shade or whatever, whatever it is. But it's very nice to do, and if you're weaving or knitting something in gradations, it's a very nice way of getting a gradation, is to put in different coloured yarns. They'll all come out in the same family, you know, whatever it is. It's going to be yellower or browner or whatever. So to make a skein, you need something to tie it with like this, and I don't know how Ellen does it, but this is how I do it. I just do it like this. You don't need very many round and rounds, just a few round and rounds like that. And then you need a pair of scissors, which I do have. And we've got more if you want one.
I'm just going to use this.
And basically, we're just making our little skein like this. Oops. Oh yeah. We take the two ends. Now this is where I think it's going to be quite exciting, because I think that if you mark the ends with knots, you'll be able to know which dye bath it's been in. And I would suggest that when you get your skein like this, you do a series of knots on the end. But anyway, that's...
They've got to identify them as their own, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well that's the next thing. Okay, so the skein, there we are, we've got the skein, and usually I take my bit that I've knotted and I just wrap it around. Now if it's a big skein, and you've got lots of layers of wool, you sort of go over and under and under and over, but actually with the new system we do a figure of 8 here, and we go over and under and back, under and over. It just holds it together, and then we just tie it together so that it can go into the bath, and we're not going to tie-dye it. So I've lost the other end now. Oh dear, well I always do this when I'm experimenting. I'm showing people how to do it. Thank you. There we are. So I've sort of woven it together. I've just tied it there. Now, there. But because it's going to get in a bit of a mess and a mangled tangle with everybody else's, what I would suggest you do is take another piece of wool and tie it round the other end. And if it's a very big skein, then you're going to do this in a couple of places, because it's not going to be very easy. But I think with these little skeins, 2, don't you think 2 is enough?
Oh, on one that size, yeah.
So we'll just go in, out again. There we are. But of course this is pretty small. If you were doing it at home, you'd probably have quite a lot more. So we are. So now we're in control, we hope. And so we're going to decide what we're going to tie this. And if you're doing I would suggest that you want to have your own tie, but everybody's going to have their own in here. But you might want to say, I know I've got a knot here, which I don't really want to have. If this is alum, I might do one knot like that. So when I get it out, I know that's the alum one. And you might do 2 knots for C, 3 knots for tin, and 4 knots for iron.
But you have to keep track of how many knots mean what.
Yeah, and I suggest you put that on your little card so that you know. And then we'll put them into the dye bath in families. All your little skeins like this will go in together. So you need to know which little batch yours are, and you can put some sort of a tie on. It's easier to take this. Take them out the middle.
Yep.
And you'll know that, you know, one's tin, or one's copper, or one's alum, and then do a natural one. So by lunchtime we'll all have our little skeins all ready, and we'll be able to go out and drain off the dye liquid. Don't do what somebody did once. We spent the whole morning cooking up walnuts, and I said, now let's go out and just drain off the walnuts. So she went happily out and put the whole lot of liquid into the garden. So don't do that! You? No! I said I'm glad it wasn't. I know, I mean, it's sort of easy. You know, you strain something off through a strainer, so you think, oh, well, what's in the strainer is what I want. And of course what you wanted was not in the strainer. So there you are. That's
It's like making boiling chicken bones and straining it down the drain.
all the broth, I know. But so what we'll now.